once again, working on the F20 Farmall, and tonight I want to try to get this coupling here from the transmission unbolted and separate out the transmission from the engine and see if that transmission will turn or not. Kind of shifting my focus a little bit tonight off of the engine as much and into a couple of other areas. Sometimes it's good to kind of let your mind rest on certain things and move on to other things. At least that's what I find. So here we go. We'll get started in a few minutes, and thanks for watching. All right, I took these nuts off here, and this is a bolt that goes through, and this doesn't want to turn. None of these want to turn. I imagine they're somehow made together with these washers, and looks like some rubber in there or something, some kind of dampener material, I'm not sure. But what's kind of interesting is that this actually moves. You can see it there. And then this kind of spins free. So I think if I unbolt the engine here and here and put a strap around this engine and slide it forward slowly, that these two will separate out, and then we can see what's going on here. The effort in separating this is not only to get the transmission, see what's going on with it and see how it's spinning or not spinning, but also to have the two separated so that I can begin to see about freeing up the engine as well. So, and obviously this whole bell housing apparatus has got to come apart too. So one step at a time, and back to it. All right, so got the other side off. This bolt holding the engine. There's another one over here in the front. Ones on the other side were pretty tough, especially the one in the front. Got the nut off no problem, but knocking them out of the hole was just a lot of rust packed in there over the years, so a little challenging. So let's see how this one goes. Got a deep well socket. Fit the nut on the bottom there. Breaker bar. These probably, my guess would be these haven't been broken since 1935, or maybe not, I'm sure, but that one came loose a good bit easier than the other side. So switch over to a ratchet and spin this bad boy off. It's getting there. Put a little lubricant on it. A little PB blaster. All right, try not to drop anything in this tub down here. I did that a couple times. Splashed up on me. It was a mess. So what I'm gonna do is put this nut back on actually, so I can get the socket off, because everything's rusted, and so they don't just slip on and off, they get corroded. And you can see that this socket is stuck. There we go. So spin that up a little bit there. And what I'm gonna do now is leave that nut on there so I can hit it with a hammer and not damage the end or the threads. Okay, similar to the other side, it's not moving with the hammer, so put a breaker bar on the top of the bolt. Look how tight that is, and there's nothing holding it. It's just the rust. So break it loose. There we go. There she goes. She's loosening up. Yeah, spin it round and round. Got it loose there. Okay. Now, take the hammer and tap it up. Back down and up and down a couple times. Put a little lubricant in there. And again, maybe work some of that lubricant down in that hole and loosen that bad boy up. You can just see the powdered rust pouring down in powder form coming out of this hole. So, imagine there's a lot of rust in the frame too. This is a piece of tubing, square tubing, that has been deteriorating over years now. So got one of the long head bolts and using it to tap this bolt up. That's just rust and corrosion keeping that thing from moving. And there she is. And that's how it goes with the old Farmall F20. Got the engine uncoupled, as you can see here, and put a strap around here and tied it off at the front on that steering apparatus, and ratcheted it, and it slid forward really quite easily. So this was back here, and this was back here. So the engine slid forward. And now this here, no surprise whatsoever, it has a little play in it, but that's just the splines. It does not spin. That's obviously got some wear to it, but still solid. I mean, we're not gonna plow any fields with this tractor, so might be able to live with that. But it does not spin, which I'm not surprised. Now this side over here, the transmission side, it spins. It's making a little ratchety noise there, like maybe, I'm hoping it's like, well, that way it doesn't do it. Oh, there it goes. I am not sure what that is. I don't know if that's something broken or if that is simply maybe a gear, you know, kind of in between. The shifter is in neutral, but it does not move in any gear. It doesn't shift. And the wheels, they move, but only a little bit. So something's holding that. And noticed that this had a huge dent in it, the differential cover. I'm not sure if that's interfering. My Uncle Billy said it used to run with that dented like that, but so I'm not sure about that. But anyway, we'll find out. And in an effort to kind of change it up a little bit, I've been thinking about pulling these wheels off. So take them outside and pressure wash them. Probably won't pressure wash them tonight, but maybe tomorrow sometime. Get out there and clean them up. So that's where we are right now. All right, so tonight was a good night. Changed it up a little bit. Started working on some other things rather than tearing down the engine endlessly. We'll get back to the engine as well, but recap, we took that apart, pulled the bolts for the engine and slid it all forward. And the other thing I did was pull one of the wheels. This wheel, they're not very easy to take off when they're rusted like they are right now. This is a bolt here. And so what happens, you've got a nut frozen over here on the other side holding the wheel on. Start turning that, the whole thing turns, and then you got to get in here and hold it with a wrench. And then this is a shield. Thank goodness that wasn't too hard to take off. Couldn't get it all the way off with the wheel on. Still need to push it off there, but anyhow, that thing there had to move out of the way in order to get a wrench in here and hold the back of these bolts so I could pull the nuts off the front there. So anyway, this side came apart and took a little time, but with impact and a wrench, I was able to do it. You can see that wheel is off of there. She's kind of balanced. Doesn't really move around. It's very heavy. It's pretty sturdy. Doesn't really want to fall over there, so that's good. Anyhow, that one's off. Now this other one, I started working on it with a wrench, and every one of them was just stuck like Fort Knox. I don't know why, but every one of them started to spin, and I cannot get a wrench on the backside to hold. Tried using breaker bar with a wrench on the backside. They're just really tough. So I pulled out the grinder and I just started cutting them. I mean, I can get these, I'm sure, find, bolt and the nut, not hard at all, so I'll replace all those. This one here was already gone. Not sure if Granddaddy had the same issues there and said, oh, 5 will hold it. But anyway, starting to cut these off. It's getting a little late. Time to wrap it up. So I'll get these off, I'm guessing maybe tomorrow if I have time to work on it. Looking forward to it. Not sure about these wheels. I mean, we got some pretty major rust here. Flaking off of there as well. I mean, that is a whole chunk right there. I'm just not sure right now. If once I get all this mud and dirt cleaned out of here, this is how deep it was sunk into the dirt and the mud. So that sat like that for many years. And just not sure if that's gonna be, strong enough. I kind of don't think so. So these wheels might not make it, unfortunately. They could become some yard art for a family member that wants them. One each or something like that. We'll see. Definitely won't throw them away. They're part of the history. So just might have to do something different. Might lead to rubber tires. Didn't want to do that because I wanted to. Everybody's always known this tractor as the steel wheel tractor. But rubber tires would be a lot easier for showing it and driving it around on paved surfaces. Anyway, it's a lot of fun, enjoying the whole process. Love making the videos. Hope everybody else is enjoying them. Really happy that this is going to be a good documentation of the rebuild of this tractor, my granddaddy's tractor from 1935. Story goes, I'm quite certain he purchased it used and began farming with it many years ago, back probably in the 40s, after he married Grandma and bought some land. So I'm not sure if it was his first tractor or not, but it was one of the first, that's for sure. So it's coming along. It's coming along.